was founded in 1790 in London by a young Scot by the name of George Sandeman, who began trading wines from Porto and Jerez.
In 1811, George Sandeman bought the cellars in Vila and constructed the building which even today is the House of Sandeman in Portugal.
Always demonstrating a pioneering spirit, in 1805, Sandeman was the first port wine company to mark the barrels with an iron brand, thereby giving a name to its wines. It was one of the first companies to bottle, label, and advertise its wines. The Sandeman Dawn, designed in 1928 by George Brown, was one of the first brand images in the world. The famous silhouette with a Spanish sombrero and a Portuguese student's cape has been a feature of the company's advertising and labels since 1930. Port is fortified wine, produced exclusively in the Douro region of northern Portugal, around 100 kilometers east of Porto. In 1756, Douro became one of the first wine regions in the world to be demarcated and regulated. It was recently classified as a World Heritage by UNESCO. Hills and valleys, the River Douro and the hard work of man have formed the region, creating magnificent handmade terraces on which the vines are exposed to the sun. The soil consists of shale, a sedimentary rock that allows both infiltration and retention of water. As the layers of shale are vertical, the roots of the vines can penetrate deeper into the soil in search of water and nutrients. There are over 100 varieties of grapes in the Douro, but currently only a small number is recommended, both white and red. The best known is the red variety, Touriga Nacional. The Serra de Mourão, to the west, protects the Douro from the influence of the Atlantic Ocean, creating a Mediterranean microclimate across the entire region. The region is divided into three major subregions. Baixo Corgo, to the west, experiences lower temperatures, higher rainfall, and is less hilly. Cima Corgo, in the center, experiences more balanced temperatures and levels of rainfall. Quinta de Sancho, a property of the highest quality, owned by Sandeman, is located in this area, where excellent wines with good aging capacity are produced. Douro Superior, to the east, experiences extreme temperatures and low humidity. The wines produced here are very intense and good for making blends. In September, the ripe grapes are picked by hand and transported in crates to the winery. In the past, the grapes were crushed in troughs, where they were trampled rhythmically for hours. Today, the troughs are still used, but the stomping is carried out using robots and temperature-controlled fermentation, another example of tradition and innovation for which Sandeman is renowned. Fermentation takes place in stainless steel vats with temperature control to ensure the highest quality and the greatest extraction of aromas and flavors. Fermentation is a natural reaction that turns sugar from the grapes into alcohol. Port wine is different from all other wines in that it does not undergo full fermentation. The process is interrupted by the addition of a fortifying spirit, resulting in a full-bodied and rich wine with high residual sugar content and an alcohol content of around 20%.
Initially stored in the Douro, the wines finish their aging process in the lodges of Vila
In the past, the wines were transported in traditional boats called robelos. Nowadays, they are transported in modern stainless steel road tankers, which protect the quality of the wine during the journey. Upon arrival in Gaia, the wines begin a minimum aging period of 3 years in the cellars. The unique conditions of the Sandeman cellars on the banks of the River Douro benefit the progressive aging of the wines and allow them to develop to best effect. The cellars contain wooden casks and vats, where the wines age depending on their variety. White port wine is made from white grapes and aged in large vats to maintain its freshness and appealing flavor of citrus fruits. Ruby ports are made from red grapes and boast a ruby color, rich aromas and flavors of red fruits and chocolate. They age in large vats, where the process of oxidation and aging is slower, maintaining the primary characteristics of the wine for much longer. Tawny port wines are also made from red grapes, but age in smaller barrels. The natural oxidation process is faster due to increased contact with the air through the wood, and the wines develop an amber color and delicate flavors of dried fruit, nuts, and spices. All the wines are controlled by the Sandeman winemaking team, which not only assess the development, but also create blends, which are then produced on a large scale and subsequently bottled. With the exception of vintage port, which matures in the bottle, all port wines are perfect for drinking after bottling, and their quality does not improve if kept in the bottle. Vintage port is an extraordinary wine, produced in a unique and exceptional year, and selected for its unique quality to age in the bottle. It is a wine that ages well for 15 to 20 years, and in some cases even more than a century. In addition to the classic vintage, Sandeman also produces the single Quinta vintage, produced exclusively from grapes from Quinta de Seixo. When aged in the bottle, Porto vintage wines develop sediment, and so should be decanted. Vintage port, of which it is said the older the better, is a classic accompaniment to cheese and nuts at the end of a good meal, in a typically English manner. The old Sandeman tawny ports, recognized worldwide for their quality, are the results of reserves established in 1850, and the dedication of the company, which has since that time stored and aged some of its best wines for use in the final 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, and 40-year blends.